Why am I here? Wow, I must be struggling. I'm on Give It To Me Straight,
It was
being
down the street.
harassed by Beetlejuice. This is too much.
Let's go.
Oh, no, listen here. Are we recording? Because I have a disclaimer to
Okay.
start with.
Okay.
I know you like to get on here and read them down with your little like witty comments and shit like that. But I just want to let you know, you with me too much, Miss Maddy Morphosis. I came all the way to your house to whoop your ass
Okay.
in front of all these people, in front of all your friends.
Noted.
Don't be reading this hoe.
I'm not even getting started. I'm already getting threats. I'm getting the disclaimer
You're welcome.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it gets too rambunctious, you can just send me an Instagram link or something to your people over in Turkey so I can get my teeth fixed afterwards.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Honestly, your teeth are pretty good, though. A little
So
whitening
far.
wouldn't hurt.
So,
I mean,
sorry for having natural looking teeth.
yeah, so natural.
Can't all have chiclets.
Oh, chiclets, mama. You tried that. You know, these little dainty teeth are Tic Tacs, honey. Don't...
Oh, Tic Tacs.
Yeah, honey.
The Tic Tacs are the little rods underneath. Those little Tic Tacs that kind
No,
of
that's
hold
what
them
they
into
shave them
place.
down to is little Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh my god,
scary.
it is so scary.
No, my teeth are my favorite thing I ever had done.
So far.
Yeah, so far. Oh, yeah, the tits will probably be my next favorite.
When are you getting those?
Oh, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible, right after this.
No, I am this year, though. I've been approved and all that, and so I'll be going back to LA at some point soon, hopefully, and start all that. So I just gotta
Oh my gosh.
get some time off to go get cut up and redesigned.
It's hard for you because for you to get time off is to basically be like, okay, I'm not gonna make like 10 grand this week
Yeah,
or
to
whatever
be honest,
it
I'm
is.
just not. Yeah, I'm not gonna survive for a couple months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably end up just kind of living it a little like humble beginning ish, you know, to like stay with some friends, maybe on a couch. Who knows? Air mattress, God knows what.
I love that you're gonna like live on a couch for a week to go get like $100,000 titties. Like that's the duality of that is so.
I will do it, baby. I'm gonna live on a couch for like a month or two, probably, to heal.
You're gonna be like the most sickening looking homeless woman when it's all said and
Baby,
done.
when I tell y'all, the big girl's gonna be the biggest diva.
Yeah.
Just watch a realness girl.
You're gonna be on Skid Row like spare change.
Oh, work.
Spare change.
Yes, you want a piece? Come on.
Okay.
I'll do a lot for a sandwich. Okay.
All right. Well, let's get into this interview and find out just
Yes.
how far you'll go for a sandwich.
Oh, really?
That's what the people want to know.
All I got was a Sprite so far, so we'll see.
The night is young, you know. Okay.
Turkey on the way. Okay.
All right. Hi guys, welcome back to Give It To Me Straight. You found it. I'm your host Maddy Morphosis, and joining me on the show today, all the way from, and I have a list here, Drag Race Season 9, Season 10, All-Star 6, Season 2 of Canada vs. the World, and the first 3 seasons of We're Here on HBO, as well as all your many individual pursuits, Miss Eureka O'Hara.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to be acknowledged by my therapist. Yeah.
I just like read your Wikipedia page, and you're like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, you look crazy as cat shit. I'm excited about this
I
look.
know.
That is so
I was
good.
telling you before, but like I didn't have time to commission a hair, so I just kind of teased this up really quick, and I look more like Sindel than I look like Eureka O'Hara. But that's okay though.
Do they know you live in Vegas?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
yeah.
they do now.
Yeah, they know.
Okay, yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. I was gonna say James Mansfield's gonna be real mad. You're styling hair now too.
Like I would have reached out to her, but like you know she's got her own life too. I can't be like, hey, I need a wig by
Does she?
tomorrow.
No, I'm just kidding.
There it is.
I don't actually know what James is doing. I haven't seen her in a while.
She's up on the YouTube, but you're saying you don't really like watch like YouTube and stuff like
I
that.
don't really watch YouTube a lot. I hate to say it. I'm a movie and like TV girl. I love scripted. I love fantasy. I mean,
Older.
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different generation.
Yeah,
You're not with the
different- sure.
kids, and you're not on the TikToks and.
I watch TikTok. I'll scroll through. I'll video dive, honey.
Your TV got a back.
Way
on
too
it.
long, huh?
Your TV's got a back on it.
Oh, big back, baby.
Big back.
A big back
Big
TV,
back
mama.
TV.
Big back, big girl, honey. Yes, big back TV. Oh yeah, you remember those, honey? Those were heavy. You don't remember them? Yeah,
I remember.
You're that. Oh, you're old enough.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30. Wow, you say that like you're 52.
You're only like 34.
I'm only 34. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Oh my
there.
god, my apps, my dating apps, all have 27 on it,
Naturally.
and of course, and so
Did
it's
you
so
start
funny.
at 27, or did
Huh?
you start it like somewhere earlier, and it's up.
I
to
don't know. I think I
27.
I delete them often. Like, I'm the type of person that like, I'm tired of this app. Delete. So then I have to like remake one every time I'm like horny, basically.
Yeah.
Or like need desperate attention. But my fans all the time that are on there, they'll be like, nice try, whoever you are. Eureka's 34.
Oh, that's how
Sorry.
they think they're getting you. Oh no,
So,
that's
well,
on
they're
me.
like, no, they're basically like saying someone's like catfishing with Eureka's
Uh-huh.
profile, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, no, like I said, like all those like appearances on television show. You've done
Mm-hmm.
a lot of drag television
Thank you.
specifically. That's just
I
an
have.
observation.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
mean, well, no, I mean, I guess thank you because I'm proud of everything I've done. I've been lucky. I think I make good TV. Apparently, I think I'm really good at working in television just because I've always loved it. It's like the first place my over exuberant personality really shines, and
Hmm.
people think that I put it on for the TV, bitch. It's just
Hmm.
really, I'm really just a drama queen,
Like the
and
people in Tennessee couldn't take it. Like
I'm an
it was.
emotional
Yeah.
creature. Yes, I'm crazy. I'm loud. I'm funny. I'm all those things. And I do act as wild as I seem like I
Hmm.
act. In random times, I'm just goofy.
Hmm.
In Tennessee, no, they could handle me a little bit,
A little bit.
but it got to a point where I was just like, I felt very much like a whale in a pond. You know how they
Hmm.
say, like, if
Yeah.
fish gets too big for the
Right.
for the lake or whatever that saying is.
Uh-huh.
It was very much like a whale in a pond kind of time,
Hmm.
kind of tea. And it's East Tennessee. I
Yeah.
needed to. The more colorful I got, the more grayscale it felt. You know.
With like drag television appearances, are you always on the lookout for more television opportunities, or is that kind of like that time is behind you and you're doing other stuff now?
No, I want to act. Is my
You want
biggest
to
dream.
act?
My dream has always been to be in a movie,
Okay.
to be in a feature film. So
Like what
my
kind? Like a John Waters or like a series like television
honestly,
like
I
actress?
want to act in all elements. My people I look up to probably acting wise is like Chris Farley for comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Loved him. Growing up, I actually had a little funeral for him when he died.
Oh.
I should have. And then at the time, I was a boy when I was younger. Was told I was,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I was really huge fans of like John Goodman, John Candy, and Chris Farley because they were
Mm-hmm.
just bigger guys and on TV and in movies, and so it's just something I always wanted to be a part of.
Hmm.
I'm learning that I can work on dreams that I have without it necessarily being fully revolved around drag, which is also a
Mm-hmm.
part of my dream
Yeah.
set.
I think a lot of Drag Race girls are feeling that. It's like a new phenomenon that we're experiencing where like a lot of the Drag Race girls are like finding successes outside of drag and drifting
Hmm.
away. And I know everyone still enjoys drag, but I don't know, I feel like sometimes Drag Race and the fan base and the expectations, it kind of sucks so much out of you. You're like, I just want to like
Hmm.
explore something adjacent or nearby without just
Yeah.
everything being Drag Race.
Yeah, well, I've had quite a roller coaster ride with the fans. One day they
Hmm.
love Eureka, the next day they hate her, and she's a big stinky bitch that shits the bed. Um,
Which she does, but that's beside the point.
I mean, let me shit my bed if I want to shit the
Yeah,
bed.
it's your bed. You
No,
paid
I
for
actually
it.
don't shit the bed often.
Yeah.
You know,
No more than the average bed shitter.
yeah, I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
fat bitch, honey, who used to party a lot. You kind of just do all kinds of shit,
Uh-huh.
But past that, well, I'm sure we'll come back to it at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I think that I love drag. I love doing drag on an elevated
Hmm.
basis at this point. But I had this experience recently, and I won't say the show, and I won't say where, but y'all can just kind of guess
Okay.
and think on it. But where I kind of was looked at differently because I was a drag queen
Hmm.
versus everyone else. And in any other type of entertainer, or actor, or singer, or whomever, performer in the position that I was in the show, etc., would have naturally had more respect than I was receiving. And the way that everything ended with said project was very anti-dragish and just not accepting of this art form that really created me to have the strength and the ability to even do the job and do what they needed. And I did it great and did it well, but weirdly still,
Hmm.
just because I'm a drag queen, it was still invalidated comparatively. And so it really invigorated, it really recharged my drive of drag, to be honest, because I was getting a little lagged and, lackluster around it because it felt like not as important maybe because there's so much of it and there's, people don't really appreciate me anyway and just being insecure. But it just, it reminded me, like, actually know how important it is for me and my community and these people. And also just for the craft that I love. Like, this shit deserves respect. Drag deserves the, the fact is like, people ask me all the time, like, oh, so you do drag? Well, what do you do? Do you dance? Do you sing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I do it all. Drag queens have to do it all. We are hosts, comedians, singers, actors, therapists, you know what I'm saying? Talk show hosts, It's like drag is so multifaceted because you're placed in a place where you're not respected. So you have to put your all into every little thing that you do. And in such a desperation and over exaggeration to stand out. And so, yeah, it's important. I hope that, luckily the new kids are, getting more into it. What I love is that drag shifted to better drag, thank God. But anyway, go ahead. I'll stop talking so much. Basically, it's just Eureka came on and talked the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a talk show, If you didn't talk, then you'd have more problems. But
What you're doing is really important too, because
sitting at home in Amazon outfits.
yes, honestly, the Amazon outfit is slaying. Honestly, it's a little Beetlejuice, not as Eureka as I would say.
Well, it's
But,
just
I'm here
we
for
got
it. Yeah, but no, it's important because what you're doing is you're giving a platform for queer artists to speak about their experiences, but you're also giving people a way to view it and hear their stories. You should be very proud of yourself for this project. You're welcome.
Thank you. So look at this. Over here patting each other on the back.
I mean,
we're going to get shady here in a minute.
I'm just here to scratch ass. What do you mean pat on the back?
Scratch ass?
Yeah, I don't know. You never heard that saying?
Is that on your profile? 27 likes to scratch ass.
Likes to scratch ass. Who pats on the back? Yes, very that. Oh God.
But talking about drag TV shows, for those that don't know, people that only watch like Drag Race and don't know about We're Here. We're Here was a show on HBO, ran for 4 seasons. The first 3 which you were a part of. It's a show where like you, Bob, Shangela, or whoever the drag queen hosts were, they go into these small towns, especially like small conservative towns specifically, and they put on like a one night only like drag show with some people in the community around there. It's very sweet, very beautiful, a lot of really touching moments. Highly recommend. If you haven't seen it, you guys should go watch it.
Wow.
So just a quick little plug.
You described it well, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. It pretty sums it up. There's a lot more, nuance to it, but I think that kind of a cute little summary of it. But some people they might know, like, they might not have seen it. Not everyone can afford HBO. So
well, what people say is it's like
pirate it.
People make the comment of like it's like Queer Eye with drag queens. I hate that, but that's what they would say.
I can see the connection.
It's like Queer Eye with drag queens. I'm like, why? Because it's another gay show.
Maybe. I think less people cried watching Queer Eye than people cried watching We're Here.
Yeah, it was very emotional, actually. Yeah. Even I was there, and I rewatch it and would cry, for sure. It was beautiful to be a part of.
And the show, like, it did amazing things. It made a hell lot of amazing moments. It won awards. It won Emmys, GLAAD Awards. Obviously, it was a very huge thing that you got to be a part
Peabody,
of.
Which is really cool.
Peabody,
Yeah, that was interesting.
Obviously, like, a really huge thing you got to be a part of. And it obviously had a big effect on you and your life. Yeah. But, all good things come to an end. After the 3rd season, they decided to move the show like in a new direction and recast the people on the show.
Yeah.
What was the conversation like for you? Did they just like tell you like let you go? Did they ghost you? Like what was?
No, they would never ghost us. They were very honestly the process was weird because what was going on, to be honest, is Discovery was buying out HBO, which is why the app turned into Max versus HBO Max. I don't know if anyone knows that. So Discovery was buying out the network. And so then for the 4th season, with the new network, it was given less of a budget. The 4th season was. So that was their first issue whenever they got renewed. So that was presented to us first, at least for me. So it was just like, we're going to have to do a lot of editing to the show, a lot of like reworking. Our contracts, obviously in our 3rd year, we were making the most that we had made in the 3 seasons. So like, who knows what that adjustment would look like. I'm not sure what the girls got paid. It's not my business, but I'm not sure what that adjustment would have looked like. And so as far as I know, I was ready to do it. I would have done whatever it took just because I felt so obligated to this show. I loved it. It meant everything to me. My communication was very like just that. We would get told a little bit at a time. I was eager and hopeful that I would get brought back on. I just assumed but assuming makes an ass out of you and me,
Mm-hmm.
because I was gagged, honey, when I got the phone call that was like, so we have cast the show. And I did not know they were even like really looking for a new cast like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part that surprised me the most. Is I was like, wait, yeah, what do you mean you got a cast? Like who?
Mm-hmm.
Who's on the show?
Like it wasn't a complete blind side, but it was kind of like a slow build.
It was a
To
slow build to a
little
blind side.
just
It
a
was a
little,
blind
yeah.
side. I did not know they had already cast the show.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually really shocked that I hadn't heard from any of the girls
Mm-hmm.
when they found out they were cast. Um, but I'm assuming they probably weren't supposed to. You know what I mean? I'm sure that they were told not to release or tell anyone. I'm sure they assumed I knew. You know what I mean? It was weird. You know, I think I just did not. I did not like it.
Obviously.
I did not like it. I really spiraled after, to be honest,
Mm.
for a moment, you know. And it was just hard because I blocked out time to work that show, and so I had to, you know, really get back to the grind. And that's the thing about having big opportunities is that, you know, those big opportunities are big opportunities until they're done,
Mm-hmm.
and not everything lasts forever. So then it's like, you know, there's always something in the back pocket you got to be working on,
Yeah.
and that's why. And I always do have something, you know. And in this industry, though, it just takes so long to do any project. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's very few things that are short term, which is like, you know, you can travel and do the club gigs or maybe film something like this, but even this takes time. I mean, you over a course of a few days, it takes you to have 1 hour episode. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I was able to like kiss some World of Wonder ass and get brought back for Drag Race Live because I was still on the poster.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, Voss hates booking girls that don't work with Voss.
That's a whole nother can of worms. We'll get
Baby,
into
I've
in a
already
little
I've
while.
opened that before, so I
Yeah.
don't give a
We-
but
let me
at
just-
least every time I say it, I get invited back. So who knows?
yeah.
After this episode, you may see me back on Drag Race Live.
You're like a toddler pushing their limits, you know? They're
I
testing it.
And that big sexy baby character is real. You never know, you know?
As we said, obviously we had a huge place in your heart because, like a lot of people on the show, you were also like a young queer kid in a small town that also had an interest in drag. So, you know, take us back to the
I hate you so much for that.
that smoky eye, though.
Girl, why you mad? You did it on your face today. Look, twinning.
That was the inspo I was looking
But I
at.
used to go down, I guess, instead of up. You
A
know
little
what I
bit,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that.
Well, you were alternative drag back then.
Yeah,
You
oh,
were-
mama, she was Dragula.
Yeah, that was Dragula
I would have
back
competed
then.
in Dragula back
What's
then
the context?
for
Are
sure.
you supposed to be like a panda at the fair? What is this? Is it Halloween?
I don't know. How old was I? I don't even remember that. You're like, I don't know. I mean, I look
wasn't
like
there.
maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I did this makeup myself, but it looks like I did. I think I'm supposed to be like a ninja or like a Ninja Turtle, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Anyway.
I'm not sure. I'm glad that we brought
Yeah.
that up.
But take us back.
Yeah,
I
she's
want to take it
gorgeous.
back to whenever you were like a little kid, though.
Okay.
Little baby in middle of Tennessee.
And what would you say to little?
What would you
Is
say?
this my drag race?
to little baby Huey?
What would you say to little tiny Dragula Eureka?
Little Huggles over there.
Oh,
What would you
Huggles, you. Ah! No, how did you know that?
I know things. I do my research.
I told y'all I'm gonna beat this up if she comes too hard. But Huggles is so gaggy.
Uh-huh.
That's what they called me on the football team in
Huggles.
high school. Was Huggles because my last name's Huggard.
Yeah.
I swear that's so stupid. I hate you so much for that.
But what were you like as a kid, though? Like, were you like this big personality you are now?
No.
Stronger knees, I assume.
Yeah, much stronger knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was running then.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Mhm.
You too. Oh my God. What the Why am I here? Wow, I must be struggling. I'm on Give It To Me Straight.
was
Being
down the street.
harassed by Beetlejuice. This is too much. Okay. My knee's doing a little better.
But what were you like as a kid, though? What was
As
it
a
like growing
kid,
up for you?
Honestly, I was a little to myself. I was
you?
very quiet, weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of movies. And I was always like prissy, you know, and sissy and wanted
Mm-hmm.
to play with the girls. And I never got to because boys don't play with girls. They should be playing with the boys, the neighborhood boys. I didn't like playing with them. How did they beat me up or what? I don't know. They just didn't like me. They knew I was a girl, I guess. And I remember as like laying in bed and praying to God I would wake up a girl. You know, life would just be so much easier and everyone would love me. And
Yeah.
I
If
know.
there's anyone that has it easy in this world, it's women in America. The easiest. So, yeah, 100% agree.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Let's not even go there.
You're the
because-
one saying that life would be easier.
but for me as a little
Yeah.
kid, though, you have to
Yeah,
think
I
I
get
was
you.
being,
Yeah.
you know, I wanted to be treated with kindness. I wanted to be treated sensitively, you know, and that is something that is different about the treatment of men
That's true.
versus women. And I wanted to be glamorous and pretty and all that. And I was those things, honey. Don't get me wrong. I just got in trouble for it, you know?
I don't have
I
like
was
the,
that kid.
I don't have like a picture on me, but I know I saw a picture before. I'll throw it up there for people. How long did it take you to slick that little cowlick every morning?
This one?
No, whenever you were in school.
Oh,
Did you take?
I'm gonna throw shit in here.
You're
This is
exposed-
up.
Don't expose the sodas. We're not branded.
Oh, girl. Well, now maybe we will.
How long did it take you
Not
to put
my
that to
little
How long did it
cowlick.
take you to gel that up every morning?
Girl, that was just my cowlick. I couldn't get rid of it. It was awful.
You grew that out though. That has some link to
I
it.
did not.
That has some link.
No, girl. That was the style then, was like the feathered back hair, honey. My dad had feathered hair, and that's how I was supposed to dress and look. And so I was just, honestly, then I was just like trying to get my dad to like me. You know what I mean? Like, so I was just doing my hair like him.
Was he tall also?
Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah, you're tall too. I know you were hitting that on some door frames. Like it's just
Oh,
kinda like
yeah.
dusting
I'm a
ceilings
door
and
frame
stuff.
doll, honey.
Yeah.
The door frame doll, mama.
The door frame doll. That's what they call you.
Yeah, no, I was just a little fat, weird kid. Not weird, just girly and like, but weirdly also dealt with a lot of like closeted queerness from other people, like weird situations, camping and this and that. But then yet at school treated like shit by same people. So it just was really, it really messed my head up. And I remember there was a situation that happened that was very traumatizing, but I was told afterwards, you know, this is just life as a man. You know, you just have to hide, you know, stuff like this and play your part so that you can be, you know, so that you can, I don't know, it was just very that. And, you know, weirdly, it was a great lesson in a crazy way, at least for me to survive high school in the best way I could at the moment. So then I went, whenever I moved, I saw it as a fresh start and I just started playing this part, you know what I mean? And I was already playing football and stuff, but then I came really involved, you know what I mean? And like, I did Future Business League of America, the drama club, the football team, I was a part of everything. And it was kind of like, I'm going to just fake it till I make it, be the flirty one with the girls, dress like how all the other boys dress, but still fresh and not, you know, just play my part, you know, to survive. I mean, I always heard about this gay bar, you know, that was local. It was like in Johnson City. I was actually born in Bristol and I grew up in Blountville, if that sounds country or not. That's where I went to high school. And I never went. And then my senior year, my best friend, Uda Matamake, that was her name.
Okay.
Randomly. Hey, Uda. What up, girl? Or Kay, sorry. I bought my cousin's fake ID and she bought his girlfriend's ID and we went to she forced me to go to the gay bar. I was like, no, I've never go there.
Was it New Beginnings?
You
Or
know, it was
different
New
one?
Beginnings.
It was New
Yeah.
Beginnings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That was the start of it.
I wore a suit every time I went because my ID said I was 21.
You wore a suit?
I wore a suit, bitch, every
You
time
got a fake
I
ID
went
in
to
it.
the club.
I feel like wearing a
16
suit-
years old in a suit.
I feel like that makes you look even more like a child. Like I feel like were you sitting on like your friend's like shoulders in a trench coat?
No,
You're just
I
like-
was already really tall.
You're like,
you know what
one
I mean?
club, please.
I was like 6'3" and in
Yeah.
a suit. They were never gonna clock me. But actually, people did give me a lot of attention because I was dressed nice.
Or the fact that you're just 6'3", you know,
Yeah,
like being a
that's
tall
true.
person at the club.
I mean, it could be a number of reasons. It was my tiny Tennessee teeth.
Well,
How tall are you?
in heels? No, I'm
No.
like 5'8".
You're 5'8". What do you mean only? Like you're sad about it? Do you hate that you're not taller?
I mean, a little bit. 5'8" is like
I was-
average.
I wish I was 5'8".
I don't think I would want to be like 6'4" and up.
I don't.
Because
want
that seems
be
like
6'4".
it's an inconvenience. But to be like 6 foot even, it's like a good height.
For a man, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that you can
I'd love
reach
to be
stuff.
like 5'11". Because then I could be tall for a girl, but not like
Yeah.
so tall that like I'm suspiciously tall. I'm a very large human
Like,
being.
no, I just play basketball.
Like, well, no, honestly, the craziest
Just
thing
in the
because
WNBA.
I used to get asked that in the
If you
country,
play
honey. I'm not the
basketball?
craziest looking girl that's walking around,
That's true.
and they have vaginas. So
Yeah. That's true.
you know, so
They're
so
built
I would
different.
pass a lot when I was like 18 to 23. I lived as trans then as well. But yeah, that's what they would ask me. Like, oh Lord, did you play basketball? God dang, you're tall. Very that. And I'd be like, sure did.
Uh-huh.
You know, whatever. What position did you play? I gotta go.
Ball is life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Googling positions of basketball teams.
I know you're Googling positions, but we're not here to talk about your search history.
You're welcome.
That's another conversation.
Well, let's look into yours.
Huh?
I'm sure yours is mysterious. This search history.
I was looking up sports stats.
Uh-huh.
You
I'm
know,
sure.
hot
No, you were
chicks.
looking up how to tease a straight,
Yeah,
straight
how
flat
to tease a
wig,
wig, yeah.
from Amazon.
But it was shortly after high school that you started your drag journey. What got you into that? What was it about going to the nightclub, seeing drag, where you're like, this is what I want to do?
Oh my God, what do you mean? It was everything. Oh, I
It just
loved it.
immediately?
It was, the first time I saw a drag queen, Henny, on stage. So we used to, when I was growing up, the only like queer or trans or drag that I really got to watch was
This is a picture of you at the club at 16, by the way.
this is me at the club, but
yeah,
in a
16.
suit. Yeah. And then I'll never forget my drag mother now. Actually, she became my trans mother. She walked out on stage and she's not real tall, actually. She's about your height, but she was a thick woman, big old boob. She's trans, big old brown ponytail, smoked out makeup. I mean, painted for the gods, mama. Like 90s glamour, drag queen, realness, fringe costume. Comes out to boo my boyfriend with like sweet Pauline dialogue in it. I mean, as soon as she walks out on stage, the whole room smelled like Mackie perfume. Like, it was just glamour. But it was also just beautiful, and it was sexy. It was big, and she was sexy. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to be just like that. I knew I wanted to be her with everything in my spirit. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to do that. And I knew I could, honey, because I'd done it for years in my bedroom, you know?
Like I've been training for this.
Yeah,
moment.
baby, I've been training. I paid this drag queen, Serena Knox, $10 for a wig and $25 to paint my face. I had a slingback pump that I would duct tape to my foot. And in whatever color I was wearing, all the way up to my thighs, honey, I swear I was wearing duct tape thighs. And you couldn't tell me nothing. I went out there, and at first I was just a slut. I was just big and slutty, and, and then I met my drag sister, Petrona, and she taught me, like, I would, like, kick and split and just for fun. And she basically taught me how to drag dance, like how to pas de bourrée dance in drag.
Maybe an 8 count. So it was in between your starting drag and Drag Race. Somewhere within that time frame is whenever you also started your first transition. You lived as a trans woman for a few years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When did you start to identify with being trans, and what made you realize that you weren't trans at that time, or made you feel you weren't trans at that time?
Oh God, that's a crazy story. I mean, I felt like I wanted to be a girl at a very young age. I wanted to be like the fierce girls that I saw, especially the thicker girls that were confident and like long pretty hair and blah, blah, all these things, whatever. So I remember always having those thoughts of like, wishing I could be the girl. But whenever I transitioned, it's because I met a boy, to be honest. Like when I decided to transition, I moved in with a trans woman. I became friends with my trans friend, Petrona, and I could tell that obviously by putting myself in these relationships and around these people that I was drawn to it, and they knew. I just didn't, hadn't said it yet. And so like whenever I said it, they were all like, well, yeah, girl, like we've been waiting, you know what I mean? But I met a boy who was like on Halloween, I was dressed up as a vampire, and he was a vampire slayer. And it was just like fate. And I didn't want nothing to do with him. He was actually hanging out with my sister after the after party thing. But we just got together, and he was just very into me as a girl, like as Eureka, not, out of drag. And so I asked him, I was like, I really have always wanted to. And he was like, well, I get that energy from you. It was his first like person being with like that. So it just gave me the strength, I think, and confidence having someone like that to support me. It was crazy abusive relationship in the end, but that's kind of what gave me the confidence to start. And it also was the realization that like, having this, being in a relationship with someone like that too, as a woman as well, made me realize even more like this is naturally how I feel and in every way. So I guess it was like maybe the last little check mark for me. When I detransitioned or retransitioned, I like to say retransition because, I really just retransitioned into the version of myself that I had to be to survive, honestly. So several of my aunties were like, a lot of the trans women that I looked up to, they had all passed away either from like some kind of complications from silicone or, I think Tajma's was natural causes. I'm not sure. But I know my auntie passed away from like, she would hook sometimes and do what she had to do and do sex work in the area. She was very pushed into that line of work. But she ended up we think she just either had an overdose or like was left there by a trade or whatever the case may be. And, at her funeral, her parents put her in a suit, and it was just really hard to see and watch and be a part of. And then I had a trade like that next week. And he and his friend like brought guns into my apartment, and I ended up getting assaulted, and it was just a really bad experience. And so the next day I called my drag mother, and she was a hairstylist, and I asked her to cut my hair, and I just, and I prayed to God, and I just was like, God, please help me find the success that I want so I can like hopefully be myself one day. That's literally the prayer that I made. And the truth was, is I just knew I always dreamed, my biggest dream besides, living as a woman, was getting out of Tennessee and becoming successful was like such an important thing to me. I don't know if this should make the cut or not, or maybe it should. But the real truth is I knew I would get on RuPaul's Drag Race if I transitioned to a boy and changed everything on social media. I deleted everything on social media and like started like playgating. Like I created images and did the photos as a boy and like all this stuff and started like I did all the steps I felt like I needed to take to try to get on. I still didn't necessarily expect to get on, but I also kind of knew. So maybe I
feel like you had a
manifested
better
it.
chance.
Well, I knew I would, weirdly. For some reason, I just knew in my heart. And my mom was sick, so I just felt like because she missed her dad so much, she didn't get a chance to say bye to him. And I know that my transness was affecting her. Excuse me. My transness was affecting her a little bit just because she didn't have that male role in her life anymore. My dad was always really abusive. So also because she was sick, I kind of decided to do it. It was so many little things.
You mentioned that you transitioned back to a boy whenever you auditioned for Drag Race. So did you audition prior to that, like seasons before?
Yeah, so the year I made it onto Drag Race was my 4th year auditioning. So it was my 4th time auditioning.
Were you auditioning as a trans woman those first seasons before?
First one, I tried to not be trans. Like I just didn't mention it. And I like had tied my hair into a bun, put like a stretchy cap on, like a toboggan-y kind of thing for the out of drag interview. But girl, I had nails. I mean, I looked like a girl in in a sweater.
Yeah.
And I got a call the first season I ever auditioned. And I actually got asked if I was trans on the call. And I was like, yeah, why? Is there a problem? So I got a little reactionary. I never heard back from anyone. So then after that, it always kind of set in my mind a little bit. I know one of them I auditioned is like non-binary. Like I was like in between and I accept any pronouns or whatever. So I didn't hear anything from that.
But you mentioned that you had detransitioned shortly before auditioning for the show. And so you auditioned for the show saying that you're not trans, you live as a boy, you do drag full time. And you think that had a hand in help getting you on the show?
In my mind, maybe. Yeah, I would say so. I think I was in a different place of confidence. I think the video's better. It showcased. This is my 4th time doing it. So I went to college for radio, TV, and film. So at this point, I was like in my final year, my final fourth year of college. I, also implemented everything I learned from my studies as far as like what catches the eye, what dialogue works, what lighting, all these things. So I think there were a number of things that helped with. Also, I love World of Wonder. I just think that they're the greatest thing in the whole world because they gave us a job, they gave us an opportunity, they gave our people a spotlight, regardless of maybe they've made mistakes, maybe they had to tread on thin ice around heteronormative standards in TV for a while to like ensure the success of this show that's now able to present things that we wish were always a part of that show. But if we would have pushed it, maybe it wouldn't have found the legs and the feet that it has to succeed the way it is. So I don't have any bad opinion about what what they've had to do to make this show a success. I'm thankful for it. I think we should all be very thankful for it, and I also don't think that everything a production company and network chooses to do is fully based on and sets on RuPaul's shoulders either. I think that we need to give her a little more grace sometimes too. Getting old, and we never, who knows?
No, it's like if there's anything wrong. It was like when gas prices go up and they blame the president. Like, it doesn't matter what happens.
Like,
it's
the president
RuPaul's
didn't even
fault.
see that bill, girl.
No.
Yeah, like.
No, I'm going to start carrying my RuPaul stickers that say I did that with RuPaul pointing and put it on the gas pumps.
I love that.
I'll be out there.
I
RuPaul
love
did
that.
it.
Yes. What was I gonna
Fracking all that
say?
oil and the gas ain't still ain't going down. No, I'm just kidding. I
Stop.
canceled it. Cut
Stop.
that. Cut
No,
that.
leave it, girl. Let them have it. What the frack? Oh, wait, no, you just got to do this now
Yeah.
because everyone knows what this is.
Yeah.
Girl, just do this for the gas companies. Yes, right now. Oh, that's so funny. No, I don't know. I love RuPaul. How was your experience with RuPaul on the show? I'm curious.
Brief. I barely got to talk to RuPaul. I went on there. It very much felt like
She seemed like she liked you though, like she's intrigued.
I think she
watching the
liked.
show.
I think she liked that it was like new territory to make. RuPaul just wants to laugh, and it's like new jokes she gets to make. You know, I felt like I knew walking in what my role was. I knew what I hoped it would be, which I got a little bit, was to kind of like put a message out there that it's okay to be a straight guy and be comfortable enough with your sexuality to do something like this.
I
You know?
love that
I knew the
also, by
message
the
I
way.
want to put out there, but I knew the message for like going on the show was they want to say drag is for everyone and then do a bunch of straight jokes with me. A bunch of jokes about being straight. It was very a lot of that, which I knew it was, but it was fine.
Well, stereotypical stuff. You know, I go on there. There's a lot of fat jokes. You know, I'm usually saying them to get to the punchline first.
Yeah.
You know, I think that
It is what it is.
I wish you just would have worn heels. I think you would have done much better if you.
It was only the one
flats.
runway I didn't. I was duck walking that runway.
Mama.
I was crouched down.
That was the goose. There was no duck in sight. You were goose walking, mother.
Okay, let's see you do that one.
You were
I'll
goose
get that
walking.
outfit out. And you see how you could do it.
How I do what?
Duck
Goose
walk
walk?
it. You can't. Your knees
In a
couldn't even
flat?
take it anymore.
These knees can take a lot more than you think, Mr. Man, Mr. Lady Man, Mr. Thang. How about that?
I had the same competition you did. My knee didn't go out, so I'm just
Well,
saying.
I did it 4 times and I'm still successful. So you and your little YouTube series.
I did it
bitch.
once and I'm successful.
I did mine on that one. Oh wow, I only lasted 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Wait, how many episodes were you in?
Like 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
And look at us now. We're here.
Oh, girl, I was girl.
Moving on.
I'm out. Girl, goodbye.
Put your Walmart bag
You know
down.
what I'm doing? I'm gonna drink some of my Sprite. That's not. I don't see no endorsements on this show, honey.
What's the Walmart brand Sprite? What's that called?
Equate.
Equate. Not Equate. No, there's
So-
there's like Miss
Oh.
there's like Miss Dr. Thunder.
I've never been
Mountain
that poor, I wouldn't
Lightning.
know.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
I tried that.
I know you were drinking.
Yes, you were.
You weren't even. You were drinking Dr.
You
Thunder.
drink Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're drinking tea. You cheap ass. You bury that sweet tea. That's why you only drink the tea.
I know you drank water out of a water hose. I know you have.
I sure did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sure did. I remember one time I was so mad, ranting about a water hose. I was so mad at my sister. I got naked and went out into the snow and started spraying the water hose on me and saying, "I'm gonna kill myself today like this because I hate you." I was just wasn't that crazy.
Dramatic. The drama.
Been made for TV since a little kid, honey.
Okay. Put the train back on the tracks.
Yes.
Have you ever woken up with a funky symptom like a swollen, itchy eye, funny looking rash, tight pain in your neck, and immediately Googled it or searched on TikTok to see what's wrong? We've all been down that rabbit hole. But it's time to get the help and care you really need with ZOCDOC. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. Appointments made through ZOCDOC happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. This is something that's really great for someone like me because I grew up in a family that didn't really go to the doctor very often. And so whenever I became an adult, I didn't really know the process or what to look for. But using an app like ZOCDOC, I can find the help that I need no matter where I am for any reason. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/straight to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/STRAIGHT. ZocDoc.com/straight. So you're talking about Drag Race, but leaving Drag Race, as we're talking about your gender journey, you retransitioned again to non-binary. And then after that, retransitioned back again to being a trans woman. So what was the steps in that journey of like, what was it just like an ebb and flow of like how you felt, or was it more of like figuring it out as you went, or like what
It
was that
was
journey
my
for you?
reality. I'd already created my reality. That's where I was living. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And honestly, I am very non binary. You know, I have masculine tendencies and I have hyper feminine tendencies. I think my hyper feminine tendencies outweigh the masculine, you know, and that's really where I lean towards when it comes to female presenting trans.
Hmm.
But being non binary was very content to me for a while.
Hmm.
But it got to a point where I started putting it on a little more than my reality,
Hmm.
via relationships, via sexualizing experiences, via different communities I was becoming a part of, right? And I think I just got so lost in this idea of like I had to be this person for my mom too. That's what kept me driven.
Hmm.
Was like, you know, at the end of the day, like my mom has her son is showing up, whether he's non-binary or not, you know, and it's what made me comfortable with he, to be honest.
Hmm.
But also it made non-binary is really kind of still a little bit who I am. I feel very,
So even though you identify as a trans woman now, you still feel like a lot of those masculine
I have
facets
moments,
still like a
yeah,
little
like
bit.
there's things that I'm into or that I enjoy or appreciate about myself that still isn't as feminine as I would like them to be
Yeah.
because it's what society sees as not female.
Hmm.
But in reality, it also took me time to learn as a woman, you know, how natural it is for me to have all these characteristics.
You identify as a
You
woman, but it sounds like a lot of like your identity sounds a little more adjacent to like non-binary trans femme, where it's
yeah,
like it's a
non-binary
lot more
trans
like
femme, yeah.
feminine leaning, but still existing a little bit more outside of the binary.
I think it's because, for me because I don't want to leave behind the people that I grew with as a non-binary person,
Hmm.
and I don't want to leave behind non-binary people in that representation that I really enjoyed being a part of when I did live non-binary, and I really did promote that. And so I identify my pronouns are she, her, they, them, anything but him, and
Okay.
that's truly how I feel. You know, because I am a trans woman and I also identify non-binary. I actually identify as both because I'm non-binary, trans leaning, whatever it is. But for me, I consider myself a trans woman, but I'm willing and content with non-binary
Hmm.
if that's the world that anyone else needs to live in for me. Because again, everyone has different opinions, everyone has different beliefs, everyone has, and I don't always respect everyone I come across by the decisions they make, so I don't expect mine to always be respected as well.
Hmm.
So for me, that's where I can find mutual ground with these people.
Yeah.
And if you choose to call me he because that's something you just can't let go of, I am not going to beat you up or fight you today. I
Hmm.
used to be the type of person that would be confrontational and let it hurt me or be emotional or let it, you know, affect me and that, but now I don't.
Yeah.
You know what they want to say though about being trans? This is something interesting that people don't talk about often. Trans people give up a way of life to live as who they are, not just their appearance, how people like their families and like, you know, whatever their opinion are, but just naturally in society. Me deciding not to live as a man and to live as a woman is me giving up male privilege, but also taking on feminine, like the social idea of feminine demorality of anything that I decide to do because I'm a trans woman. So I'm already demoralized when it comes to me being a woman regardless and will always.
Hmm.
And never really so I'll never really be treated unless I find someone that chooses to really love me authentically as a woman. And there are people out there that do see
Hmm.
and love trans women and men as the women and men that they are, and we're growing there. But in the biggest aspect of it, I'll always be seen as like worse than the harlot woman, you know what I mean, as a
Hmm.
trans woman in society. Um, and it's just so, and I think that trans men, you know, they have to live with fear too. I can't speak for a trans man, but I also don't, I want to make sure that they're included. You know,
Hmm.
trans men have to give up, when you go, excuse me, from women to men, you have to give up emotional support. You know, there's a lot of issues and insecurities and problems that come with choosing the route you want to go. But do you think people just choose that because they have another choice? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
For me, it became a point where it was like I was probably not going to still be here if I didn't make a change and choose. You know?
In addition to like all the stuff that we've talked about, yeah, you've also talked in other interviews candidly a little bit about your battles with like drug addiction.
Hmm.
Where can I ask like when that like started for you, like using substances? Was that like in getting into the club scene? Was it earlier than that?
I come from a low income environment, which is often riddled with mental illness, drug use, addiction, so on and so forth. So I grew up around, substances, and it wasn't really a big deal, to be honest. Like I had cousins that my mother would like get off crack in the bathtub, you know what I mean? When I was growing up, things like that. Mother was a wonderful woman, and she was very helpful like that. But it was also a part of our reality, that my mother also is from Germany, so drinking was never a thing. I don't think they have a drinking age, which so I've never been a drinker. I'm just a rebellious person.
Yeah.
I did not do drugs at all growing up. I mean, whenever I was kind of forced to, I think the first time I like really started smoking weed or anything was like I was like 20 years old. So I was very anti it. Even my boyfriend smoked weed and all that, and I was just like, well, more power to you. I'll sew a costume.
So when did you get into
Instead.
actual like harder substances?
What do you mean?
Like
Oh, I
harder
tried.
than weed,
So
obviously.
during the pandemic, to be honest.
Oh, so it was only in the past like few years that you really
Yeah.
started to get. What happened? How
Yeah,
did you get
once
exposed to all that?
being in the club scene and stuff, obviously, and just in the queer life in general, I don't know, nightlife, all that, we come across drinking, cocaine. Those are things that are just like naturally kind of everywhere. And that's in heteronormative or queer environments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of comes with the territory. So did I try a bump here and there, whatever? I'm not going to say yes or no, but y'all know the truth. But during the pandemic, I actually had a neighbor friend that, tried ketamine with me. And it was fun to like, we would play, Crash and Super Smash and whatever and watch movies. And it was just a nice little, it just chilled me out in a way. And it made me like, it made the thoughts stop a little bit. And it gives you, sometimes drugs give you a fake facade of positivity. So, when I was in such a low point, it was just, I wanted to go anywhere but where my reality. And then it became a social thing. That Christmas was really rough because I didn't go home for Christmas. I was in LA, West Hollywood, with a bunch of other queer people that could not go home for the holidays. It was my first time ever, not having a family Christmas and doing it with my mom and all that. So I was destroyed. I just was diving deeper and deeper into bags, honey, and what drinking or whatever it is, sex, I mean, anything, to be honest. So when people really started like coming to me and saying something to me about it, even people that are also partiers, that's when you've gone too far.
Yeah.
And so I was actually here during Drag Race Live. I wasn't here very long, but I had brought my addiction with me, and I was driving back to LA once a week to re-up, I'm gonna be real. And it just was not conducive to the environment that I wanted to be in and who I wanted to be as a colleague or as a person or anything. I was just fogged out. I don't know if anyone saw this, but there was one morning where I was live on Instagram and I was like looking for a urgent care or something because I was just like my back was hurting so bad. I had like sat under the shower in the hottest it could go to ease my back pain. And like when I got to the doctor, my skin was burnt when I went to rehab because I was under this hot water for so long. And I was dehydrated. And I mean, when I went to the doctor, they were just like, you're going through it, you're rough. And I left immediately because I was like, oh my God, someone's going to find out. You know what I mean? And I went home, and that's whenever I actually called the creators of We're Here, and they graciously had someone come get me the next day, but they were the ones that were really there for me. So I was very blessed. And honestly, I got invited back to Drag Race Live after because I literally, we had 2 days off. I didn't tell anyone I'd left. And I went to rehab, girl. They thought I had taken their rental car, which I did not. It was parked at the apartment. And just no one knew because I didn't have my phone. You know what I mean? So I did not take the rental car. That's apparently a story I've heard. Anyway, I'm here to debunk this false tale. Obviously, the most important part of this whole story is I did not take the car.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway from this whole interview.
Yeah, I did not
You didn't
take
take
the
rental
car.
car.
Yeah, no, I mean, and World of Wonder was very, kind to me around like, ultimately, like when, my management had to tell them, that I had left. I went to rehab in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was a great rehab, actually. I was a horrible monster the first few weeks. And I was just with a lot of like rich straight people, and I was very combative around the queerness and, taught them a lot. Maybe learned a little bit myself. But ultimately, it was a really, really wonderful experience. Do not regret it. You know, and I realized through that experience that I didn't want to die. You know, I have some support. I could use more support in my life, especially from the fans and from queer people and my sisters. And that's who I need love from when I'm in my worst more than anywhere else. And it's not like, don't go to people and be like, oh my God, you have a problem, fix this, blah, 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 blah. No, just be nice to them. Be nice to people that you see struggling.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, if you can visibly see someone struggling, people are no longer being kind to them. Because we just as animalistic individuals, I think human beings have that tendency to see weakness and treat it differently. I just noticed what the hell this picture is
Oh, it's
that
your
I've been
hand.
getting up trying to throw at you.
Yeah, it's your hand.
What the
It's an iconic moment of yours.
I've never seen it that zoomed in before, but I guess I do only have 4 fingers.
Yeah, I think it's like hidden behind your thumb. You're doing like
Baby, I don't
these
know.
moments.
I
think
think
they could have photoshopped it.
I think, you know how like,
It looks. Have you seen the show?
oh shit, I can't show it like that. The stuff behind it.
Oh no, it's fine. Have
But
you
oh, go ahead.
seen the show Dinosaurs?
Yes.
It looks like their hands.
Shut
Because like
up.
the nails,
with the little
and
baby dinosaur.
yeah, the
in the high
nails and the
chair.
4 fingers. That's what their hands look like in the show.
That's funny. I love the little baby
Yeah,
in that.
like not the mama.
Not the mama.
Yeah.
I'm dead by this picture. Actually, you know, they probably what they did was. I mean, you can kind of see it. I guess. I do like hold the marshmallow when I pose. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was already
You would
mad
listen- you
about
would-
this promo anyway.
Why?
Because that look was so fabulous and so fierce. I wanted like a fiercer stance for my picture, but they literally went for like they actually asked me to pose like at the end of the shoot, like my season 9 promo. And as soon as they asked me to pose like that, I knew that's probably what they were gonna use. And it's just like me laughing, like arm in the air, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. It was just annoying. I like my Canada versus the World promo much better because, like, you know, it was fierce.
Yeah, filling your oats. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to be Puswacha.
But we're trying to find our bearings back to where we were. We were having a very
Back to Puswacha.
talking about your addiction. You don't have to share anything you're not comfortable with, but if I can ask, like, where
I'll
are
tell you whatever.
where are you at on
I'll
your
answer how I want.
where are you at on your recovery journey right now?
Oh, where am I at now in recovery? I'm pretty active in recovery. I have my alumni meeting that we have once a week that I attend on occasion, and I have like some recovery people I talk to consistently just to keep me in my right mind. But I'm more of like in experimenting with like self-controlled usage, like drinking here and there when I go out, like giving myself a little leeway and like grace, because I've just noticed that I'm very much like I'm an emotional person. I have to let loose, and it's I don't know. I enjoy going out sometimes with my friends and being able to have a good time. And yeah, I don't know. When you don't do drugs, the people that do drugs don't really want to hang out with you as much. So I would love to say that I'm X amount of days clean and all that, but I also just don't do those numbers anymore either. I try not to put rules and stipulations on anything like that for my personal health. The more I police myself around it, the more I'm at risk of falling harder into it if I happen to have a slip. Because it's like, oh, I can have a year or 2 years sober, but then once I do, it's bad. You know, versus like, if I'm going through something, I'm like, girl, I want to go have a drink with my friends, and it's controlled. You know, they even say in the big book is what we call it, in recovery, if you're not familiar, they talk about like if you can go out and be normal and not, fall back into that practice, then more power to you. But if you can't, this is the place for you. And so I definitely know that it's an important part of my life. And again, my biggest message is like, regardless of like whether you want to be sober or you want to be in recovery or, which I think are two different things for sure. Your recovery journey is different from sobriety. But even if you're not to that point, but if you ever do need help or you see someone needs help, don't be afraid to ask for help, I guess. In the queer community, we get very nervous and afraid. There's definitely a stigma around, if you go to rehab or if you ever admit that you have fallen into addictive behavior, then you're labeled forever. And it has become an issue at times because I do get a lot of assumptions from people. But I don't give a what people think. You know what I mean? And I can't. Now, I care how I affect people that I care about and how I affect my fans. And so I've adjusted myself in my life and how I react to what I do to cater to that at times because it's important to me. But otherwise, I've just become a person through recovery, honestly, and through my gender journey and trauma and all this shit I've been through. Girl, I ain't got no time to care about what any of you hoes think of me, you know? Which I'm finding is because I'm starting to truly care about myself. You know what I'm saying? Once you make that decision, you slowly stop caring so much about what everyone else is thinking.
So like coming up to the end of the interview here, with everything like you've lived through, you don't owe anybody any explanations for anything. But I would like one for this. If you have one.
I told y'all, see, she waited to the end to get her ass whooped up in here on this day.
What are you doing? You're in school clothes in the lake. What?
First of all,
The creek, sorry.
that was a creek.
I know, that's Tennessee right there.
You were like, honey, I've been to that creek.
That's the creek.
First of all, you don't love this picture.
I love it, but not for the reasons you were going for, I don't think.
Honestly, girl, where's her lash?
Where's your pants?
Girl, okay, I made this out of a dress, and I made it into a leotard.
That's the look I recreated today.
I made this into a leotard.
Oh, okay.
So this was like a cocktail dress I found at Ross, and
So you cut it into a onesie and
cut
put a
it
button
into a
in it?
leotard and sewed it together. Yes, I needed a bathing suit that fit right, and even big girl bathing suits don't fit this body right.
I love that you have like drag eyebrows and flat hair though.
I was a woman this day. I was in this creek for real.
I know you were. That's not Photoshop. You were in the creek.
I hate you so much.
Oh goodness.
I hope you are destroyed immediately. This was before Drag Race. That photo's from like before Drag Race.
Why were you in the water?
I just thought so me and my girl Roxy Taylor, who did my photos for season 10, y'all can go back and look at those promos. They're incredible. It was our first time doing a photo shoot after we'd met. And we just, I said I'd meet her. She said, do I get to pick the place? She said, Black Mountain, North Carolina, honey. So I drove down there, drove my ass down to Black Mountain, North Carolina, and we did some photos. I did a Maleficent shot in the woods, and I did this one. And then I did a dumpster photo where I was like climbing out of the dumpster with like a lo-fi. And I mean, I thought I was very creative, mama. We had a blast.
Well, on that note, that is the last bit of time we have and the last of my cards and the last of my questions. But before you go, I did want to give you something to thank you for coming in today. Just a little gift.
Okay.
I saw you posted about it. Your favorite fragrance, Angel by Mugler.
It really is my favorite.
It's hard to find.
I love this so much. Honestly,
They don't carry that shit anywhere.
I'm obsessed.
I'd drive across town for that.
And no, you did just for me? You also live in BFE Vegas, but... Thank you. This is really sweet. I'm going to tell you, this is my signature scent. My drag mother, her signature scent was Mackie. So, my drag shit. This game.
Technical difficulties.
I just appreciate the gift actually a lot. It's weird because of, I haven't been working a lot, just been focusing, and I'm working on what my next steps are going to be leaving Vegas. So I have not really struggled financially in my career since I started, because I just always work. And because I've had to take time to like reflect, but also it's just the industry and a time God gave me to reflect, I think, and humble myself. I'm trying to explain. I've been struggling with money. I haven't been able to afford my perfume because I have to take care of other things. And it really does mean so much to me. Like more than you think.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I could.
It really is sweet.
No, thank
Who
you
knows?
again. Thank you again for.
I was actually going to say I'm surprised I haven't cried this whole interview. But yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you deserve it. Like it's. I just wish your favorite fragrance was like Pink Ice at Charlotte Russe, but
or like Pink Friday or something.
I appreciate you coming in, taking the time, and being so candid about like all the stuff you've been through.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What's sweet?
Yeah, thank you again.
I hate you.
No, but like, what do you have going on right now? Because you're doing some gigging right now. Do you have any like shows coming up? Any big plans? You're gonna be at DragCon. This is probably gonna come after DragCon UK. Any big things coming out through the year? Things you got planned?
Yeah, I wrote a book. I have a 2-book contract. It's a fiction book. It's a mid-grade level. I'm really excited to release it. And the name, it's really exciting. It's hashtag non-binarity is valid. It's just a really cute story about, and it's mid-grade. I have 2 books that I got a contract with Abrams Publishing with. So I have a second book I'm working on now. So I'm really excited about that. I've always wanted to write, so I've been working on that for like years, 2 years now. I'm going to be touring this year, I think, with my one woman show. So I'm excited about that. You know, and I'm going to be, who knows where I'll pop up next, girl. You know me. Honey, you'll be like,
Everywhere, you and everything.
I want to be,
You are one of the most resilient Rue girls, I think,
baby, you
ever.
can't get rid of me. I
No.
also am working on, I'm releasing a song too, actually.
My follow-up question was going to be,
Um,
when are we going to get more music?
Yeah, I have a song called Bow Down,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically just me claiming that I'm a queen regardless of it all. And then I have another song, Success, that I have. But I might be releasing a song that I never released during season 10
Oh,
because my management team at the time, whom I'm no longer working with,
okay.
told me that it might seem too much like a clapback song to the Vixen, which was not my intention with
Oh,
this song.
okay.
But it's called Canceled. And so it's basically just about, because I was being canceled by fans and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a fun, like, it's a really just like a, you know, do G and dance on the gay dance floor type song.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to release some stuff that I held
Yeah.
myself back from
Mm-hmm.
out of insecurity. So yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up the numbers. Your song, "Big Girl," that's like almost 3 million views on YouTube right now.
I know.
That's crazy.
You know who helped me write that song? Bob the Drag Queen.
Really, that makes
Showed
sense.
up to my gig at Mickey's during season 10 and was like, I have an idea for you. I started writing the song, and then I got with the producer, I collabed with it and edited it, and
How did
we
you
did
get?
the
How'd you
song
get in
together.
so tight with Bob?
Bob just loved me during season 10. Bob swore I was going to win.
Uh,
You know, I think that Bob was just really, I think he was a fan until he hated me. No, I'm kidding. He's actually, and we've gotten close through We're Here and stuff. And it's a different kind of close because we're like honest and vulnerable, but also like, I think Bob loves to hate me, hates to love me kind of energy. Like it's very that.
mm-hmm.
But I have gotten a lot of advice from Bob over the years. Like, excuse me. So even during season 10, because of the responses that I saw him, like I felt comfortable going to Bob on how to navigate certain things that I was dealing with during season 10. And so like, you know, and I was open to that conversation and peace and, you know, just listened, I guess. I don't know. It just happened. But yeah. Plus Bob, you know, has his own history with the community and stuff, recovery and all that. So maybe I don't know. He just knows that I'm mentally ill and he feels bad for crazy people.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. I love to try to give like the whitewashed answer sometimes.
Yeah.
Or gentrified answer. I don't
You
know.
gotta boil it down. For
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
He feels sorry for mentally ill people. Oh, just crazy.
So those are the things you got coming up right now. All your socials, Eureka O'Hara, except Facebook. That is not Eureka anymore.
Get it back. Eureka the
Yeah, unless you can help her
Elephant
get it back. But as for
Queen.
right
The
now,
personal is Eureka Huggard now because I
Eureka
did do my
Huggard,
legal
yeah.
name. But I don't even get on there because I'm just so depressed about my Facebook. What about yours? What are your socials?
mine's all the same, and it's all me so far. So nothing hacked yet,
Wow.
but we'll see. Yeah,
Well-
I left Twitter. I still have the account, but I stopped posting on there because of all the craziness.
I don't know. I hardly ever post on Twitter too. It's just not,
Moved to Blue Sky yet?
huh?
Blue Sky?
What's that?
It's the new Twitter, but it's like
Are people using it?
it's more left wing. More like a bunch of companies are leaving Twitter and we're going there.
Really?
Yeah, it's still
Is
growing a
TikTok
little
still
bit.
getting banned?
I don't know yet.
Will it be banned by this video maybe? I don't know.
It might be.
I feel bad sometimes like doing the TikTok thing just because I feel like I'm asking people for money and it's like an image conscious thing. Like I don't know, like I'm Eureka O'Hara, I shouldn't be doing that. Weirdly, I get paranoid. That's why, you know, I used to not even want to post like merch and stuff because I was like afraid it looked too like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person to my fans. Well, guess what, bitch? In a couple weeks, I'm coming out with a merch line. Honey, I'm going to post that shit to death. Girl, y'all buy a shirt. Shit. Support a big old in America.
So that's where people can find you. That's where they can support you. And you guys can find me right here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And join us next time whenever we have somebody else.
Yeah. Who you going to have?
I don't know yet. Maybe the
Who you going
president.
to call?
knows?
Ghostbusters?
I don't know. Maybe I'll grab somebody problematic on their way out. I don't know.
Who would that be?
I don't know.
Say names.
Maybe Katy Perry.
Oh, they
Yeah.
love her.
Redemption tour.
You should get Todrick Hall. Why not? He's a fracker too? No, I'm kidding. Oh my God. Okay, so I have to open this though. I'm so excited. You have no idea. I literally stopped at the when I was traveling. I stopped at duty free, and I was gonna get this like whatever smallest bottle I could get of this, or the refill, or whatever I could get. And I couldn't because I just couldn't afford it at the time. I was like, no, I better not. I need to not do that because drag con's expensive. Everything's expensive, Plus, I got my. I mean, girl, life be life, honey.
Life is worth a living.
Yeah, and I got evicted one time. So the last time I lived in Vegas, I had an issue with my roommate not paying stuff because we were like getting crazy. So I got
Every time you
evicted.
finish a story, there's like another new
No,
drama
I'm
story to
serious.
tell.
Oh my god!
I feel like you're back. She's back.
All you hoes, yo shitty bed. Oh my god! Thank you so much.
Okay, bye guys.
Oh shit.
Let's go.
Can we play Barbies after this?
Yeah, absolutely.